could you confirm Ja now with Game 4?
No, he's still. They're still examining him.
What type of test are they doing on him today?
I don't know. I'm not a medical person.
Is he able to practice, Cole?
No.
Pace is something that you talk about a lot. You seem to believe it. Does that become even more important against the team that creates turnovers the way the Thunder does? And so, what's the relationship there?
I think yesterday is a pretty good example of that. Like our pace was tremendous, especially in the first quarter, but also in the second quarter, and then in the second half, it completely turned the tide, and they were able to force us into more turnovers and turn that into a faster pace and transition opportunity.
Does the more dribbling, more passing, longer type of balls that give them the opportunity to create turnovers? And what's the relationship between the pace and the turnovers?
I think overall, if you're asking if there's a relationship between passing and turnovers, there is. Like, that's been studied. But at the same time, it's also their defense is built so that it forces a lot of turnovers. They have very good personnel for that, and there's also the yin and the yang that also presents the opportunities to find the open players. So it's always how would I say, there's good and bad in it.
Tuomas, now you've had a night to sleep on it. How do you come to terms with how everything went down last night?
Well, I come to terms with it through watching the video. You know, you have a little bit of time to pout and feel sorry for yourself, and then you got to move on and figure out solutions, and that's what we are doing.
How much of this is a mentality at this point? It's one game at a time. It's always been the case. But really, you're down to one game at a time to try to keep the season.
Yeah, I mean, we've approached it like this for the whole season, so nothing really changes, and that's what we can affect today is how focused we are for the video, how focused we are for the walkthrough, and how well the coaches are prepared for that, and that's what we can affect today. And now the players can affect how well they recover and how we do our job for tomorrow. And then tomorrow we do our best in the game and do everything for that. That's the only way you can live life.
Last night was obviously really tough, but how do you feel like you guys came in here today following that loss?
Very focused. I mean, there's what can be easily forgotten in this type of situation is that we put ourselves in a very good situation initially by doing exactly the things that we wanted to do going into that game. The players, the effort level, the focus, the execution was tremendous, and it was great to see that, and that also gives us a lot of let's say hope.
It always looks a little different when you rewatch a game versus when you kind of watch it live. Did anything stand out to you in particular when you kind of rewatched the film that was like, oh wow, I didn't, you see that?
Well, there's always stuff like this, but I would say that it was so. Let's say there's such a big contrast between the halves that you could also feel it during the game. But we were like, maybe the one thing I would say is that during the game you feel like we're doing things perfectly in the beginning and in the first half, and that's not the case. We're doing the simple things at a high level, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a little bit better than the other team, and then we are shooting the ball well and we're playing with great energy. So that's also something that's comforting, that it doesn't take a perfect game in order to compete with these guys.
You've talked in this series about Jaren as a mismatch problem for other teams. Do you sense the Thunder trying to dictate the types of touches he gets, the types of looks he gets based on the defenders they put on him?
Yeah, they obviously have incredible point of attack defenders. Also, their guards and wings are big. They're athletic. They do a great job staying on a string. Also defensively, where they provide a lot of help for them. And I thought there were good sequences yesterday where we were able to create a lot of space for Jaren, either on the perimeter or then on the inside to exploit the fact that they put two or sometimes even three guys on it.
Mark Dickman said earlier in the series that just from observing Desmond Bane, he seems like a really resilient player. What have you noticed about him as you've gotten to know Desmond, just as a person?
Well, I mean, if you think about it on like three levels, he's A+ as a human being, he's A+ as an athlete, as a professional athlete, and A+ as a basketball player. So I have only great things, not good things, great things to say about Des, his approach to the game. I think it's a cliche that everybody has the will to win, but very few have the will to prepare to win. But Des is that guy. The work he puts in, like behind closed doors in the summertime, sets him up for success, and that's why he's been able to put himself in this situation overall as an NBA player.
Hey, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.